Hello, and thank you again for joining us on Southern Sports Media Racing Podcast. I'm Devin, joined by David and Nick tonight. And if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe below. So, tonight we are here to recap what we saw in the two Daytona Duel races. Brad Keselowski winning the first duel race, and his teammate Chris Buescher winning duel race number two with an RFK sweep of the duel races down in Daytona. What are your guys' takeaways from what we saw tonight?
I think it was a good indication of what we're going to see. Puts the fear in the drivers that are running in the back of the pack to lose the draft. That was kind of interesting to watch. But like I said, me and Nick were talking about that earlier this week. Just going off iRacing feel and data that I was feeling. Like I told him Tuesday that I have a feeling that there's going to be cars losing the draft fast, and that kind of came into fruition today. The separation of the packs, like go on pit road, come off, and one car pack just takes off. Fast forwards, both races. Um, Chevys kind of shot themselves in the foot in the first race, and I don't know what happened with the Toyotas that they just don't have the speed right now to keep up with them. Um, It'll be interesting to see in the 500 though.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a pretty simple race. I don't think anyone expected anything too crazy, especially with the inventory problem everyone's having. Saw our fair share of mistakes. Denny Hamlin not getting on the brakes. Austin and Ty Dillon hitting each other on pit road. Um, and yeah, obviously Joey with that block at the end. And I honestly think with Joey's block at the end, if that's the old car, he wouldn't have gotten wrecked. I mean, if you go back and look at it, it looked like that happened so slow compared to how it would have happened last year. That would have happened like that. But because I guess they're slowed down a lot. I mean, they're only going like 192 in the draft now. It
Yeah,
took a really
if
long time
that.
for that. It took a really long time for that to develop. And by that time, I mean, I still don't know why he threw a block. I mean, it's the duel. I get it being competitive and everything, but you gotta let him
It's
go.
Joey. It's what he does.
You gotta let him go.
Yeah, I looked last year's Daytona 500, Joey Logano out front, or was it? It was either Keselowski or Logano. One of them blocked. They all wrecked. So Joey Logano, he's gonna block. I don't. It can be the dual race. It can be the 500. That's just the way it is. That's his driving style. And he said it in an interview before the race tonight. He said, "I'm going for it. I'm laying it all out in the line." And well, he did that. So obviously the Fords are very fast. Are we shocked that RFK swept the dual races? I mean, I wasn't expecting them to come out here and both of them win the dual race.
Um, the Fords are fast. Like I don't really think it's RFK, and don't I'm not taking anything away from them. What they did, showing 2 weeks ago in LA to this week is yeah, it's a complete 180. But I mean, it's a different beast altogether. But I mean, you got to think every single Ford there was fast. Um, Even Cody was Cody Ware in it? Yeah, Cody Ware and David Reagan.
Yeah, but I think they
They
were
were
just trying not to tear their stuff up
yeah,
tonight.
they ran a little bit and stuck with everybody, and then they just backed out of it.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's good to see. I think it's a big booster for the RFK guys. Even though Regan Smith couldn't say, what did he say? Roush Keselowski Fenway
Howski
Racing.
Finley,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
So
Boyer was calling Denny Hamlin Danny Hamlin again.
yeah, that's funny. But yeah, big boost shot in the arm to those guys. I think it gives them a lot of confidence going into the 500. But I think Keselowski's more being a realistic thing. Like, all right, that's good. We're both starting in row two, but it's still a long race.
I don't think that should be a shocker to anybody, really. I mean, yeah, they performed like absolute garbage at the Clash, but historically, look at it. Brad Keselowski, what is he, one of the top winners at Talladega ever? He's won the July race at Daytona a couple of times, was in position to win the 500 last year. Then you look at Chris Buescher. He was in a position to make the playoffs last year if he won Daytona, and he's in the top five at every single Daytona race. So I don't think that's really a shocker to anybody. The only thing that's shocking to me is, yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere if you're looking at what they did at the Clash. But now looking at it, it's probably at the Clash they're just trying not to tear their stuff up, get here where it matters, and they're hitting the ground running. The Fords are fast. They're not as fast as the Chevys, but they're fast.
Yeah, I think it would have been a different story if the Chevys came in and took two tires all of them instead of four, where
Yeah.
they would be. Because I mean, that 5 seconds, the extra that they took is exactly what the gap was there at the end of the first duel.
Yeah, and historically, Roush Fenway before Keselowski joined this season, they've always run well at the super speedways. I mean, Ryan Newman 2 years ago was a few hundred feet from winning the 500 before he got turned and flipped and had that horrific last lap crash. So I guess it's not shocking, but I guess it is shocking because this is you got a new co-owner. Keselowski's at a new team, um, so yeah, we saw cars losing the draft, obviously. Y'all touched on that. Also, we saw Joey Logano's wreck. The car really held up well for the, size of impact he had. With the old car, that car would probably been very torn up after a head-on impact into the wall. Did that shock y'all at all? How well the car held up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Nick was a little bit scared coming from the clash and how at low speeds Justin Haley hit the wall, and that's right, hit the wall and just ripped the whole side of his car off. I mean, head on, 170 miles an hour into the wall, and it looks like you've just been in like a 35-mile-an-hour fender bender. Um, that's a good sign. That's a really good sign.
Yeah, for sure. And I told Devin this. Yeah, it looked it didn't look like a bad wreck at all. But what we're gonna have on Sunday is he's coming back across the track with 2 times as many cars there. What would that car have looked like if McDowell didn't slow up in time and drilled him in the door? I think that's what we're going to be seeing more of on Sunday because then he gets hit in the door, doesn't hit the wall head on, swings back across the track and gets hit again. I think that's what we have to worry about.
Yeah, so as we transition to the 500 now, they've survived. Well, all of them but Logano have survived without crashing in practice and the qualifying races. Are we going to see this calm demeanor come Sunday? Because now we're at the big race. Whatever happens, happens in the 500. You don't have to pace yourself throughout the week. The time is now. So, what are we going to see Sunday?
I think we're going to see the train. I mean, the rim riding train. Everybody's going to be at the top or bottom, just cruising. I think it's going to be a calm 95 to 98% of the race, just like it is most of the time when everybody's smart. But I still think when you dangle that checkered flag in front of the drivers, I think we're going to see some interesting racing. But it all depends on how the racing looks, especially with the way those packs got split up. Are we going to see an all Ford pack going for the win? Are we going to see all Chevy pack going for the win? I mean, that's highly possible right now. The only thing saving them in the first half of the race is the stage breaks. Then you got the what is it, 180 lap run to the end, kind of like what we had tonight. It was a 60 lap race. So I mean,
Yeah.
we may see something very similar to it, to what we just saw. Different strategies are going to break these packs up, and if they can run somebody down or not.
Yeah. And I think realistically, what we saw tonight, you're only going to be able to do that if you have 5 cars, 5 or 6 cars. You have to outnumber the other group. And if it's pure speed, the Toyotas aren't going to be able to do that. Um, yeah, that's where I stand with that. I think the whole race is going to be calm for the most part, but once that trophy's sitting out there in front of everyone, last 5 laps or so, it's going to get insane like it always does. Look kind of like the 2013 Daytona 500.
Yeah, that was 500 where we saw uh, relatively calm 95% of the race, and then the last few laps were chaotic. And also, if I'm not mistaken, that was the same year the Gen 6 car made its debut in the 500. It may have been a year before or after, but I think it was in 2013. And I believe Jimmy Johnson won that race. So, any shockers tonight? I thought Harrison Burton did really well. He stayed up with the pack and was drafting some. What'd y'all think about that?
Yeah, yeah. Smart race. It's good to see him kind of tone it back after the what we saw in the clash. I was kind of hoping the rookies would tone it down. Cindric didn't. They were kind of crazy in the first duel. That was kind of shocking to see him just bail on his teammate like that and put him in a very vulnerable situation. But we'll see what it looks like. It's good to see the rookies doing well. But I mean, they're not in terrible equipment, especially at restrictor plate tracks. They're in the Fords, so
If there was any year to be a rookie, it's going to be this year. I think you can relatively say everyone's a rookie for the
Yeah,
most
it's
part,
it's a complete level field right now.
Yeah,
unless you're
so
in an HMS car.
yeah, so Sunday, do you see this coming down to Ford versus Ford or Ford versus Chevy for the win?
I can't. I mean, if any indication tonight, it's just going to be on pit strategy there at the end of the third stage coming down to the win. I mean, if Chevy shoots themselves in the foots and Ford come out and do a two-tire stop just like they did tonight and get that gap, or did they learn and pit with what 30 something to go and only take two tires and try to get that lead? It's going to be a strategic race, which is I find exciting, but I still think it's going to be an average viewer's not going to find it as exciting.
Yeah, I don't think the average or the casual NASCAR fan is going to enjoy this year's 500 too much. Yeah, I think the strategy is going to be through the roof. I think it's really just going to depend on who makes the first mistake and how bad that mistake is going to be. That'll determine. It's just going to be who has the most numbers at the end of the race.
Yeah, definitely. So just before we end this, I want to recap. We made our 500 picks Tuesday night. I have Blaney, Nick has Denny Hamlin, and David has Justin Haley. Are you still confident with your picks after what you saw tonight from your drivers?
I saw my driver kind of saving his stuff, so I have no idea. I mean, I just took a pick off the wall. Um, I like what he's done at the restrictor plate tracks in the Xfinity Series. He's always driven really smart there. Good teammate. So we'll see if him and Hendrick can get teamed up and try to replicate that for Colic.
As long as it doesn't come down to a reflag pit stop, I think Denny's got it in the bag.
Yeah,
You look so sure about that right now. You're a terrible liar.
No, honestly, what I saw out of Stenhouse tonight was pretty good. Up there early in the second duel. Yeah, all these Chase Elliott fans are wrecky Stenhouse, but don't acknowledge the fact that Chase Elliott wrecked everybody in Daytona last year. Um, guess that just goes unsaid. But yeah, I think Denny's going to be in a good spot. It just depends on how many Toyotas are left. I think they only have 6 anyways, so it's just going to see how many Toyotas are left.
yeah. And I also want to add in Kaz Grala racing for the money team in the number 50 car, along with Greg Biffle in the 44 for the New York racing team, both raced their way into the 500 tonight. So exciting for two new teams in the sport to make the Great American Race. So any last thoughts for tonight?
Um,
I'm just ready to play some Apex.
yeah, me too. Hey, what? You know what map's playing tonight?
No, I don't. Hang on. Let me check my Apex map. Apex
Right,
map.
right there, down right there. Yeah,
Oh, we're at Olympus for the next hour, so we can go for the next hour.
yeah. Let's just stay
Yeah.
away from
Yeah.
that. God, you know what's in crafting tonight?
No, why don't you let me know?
Hold on, let me check my Apex map. Download it today. Link in the description below.
Southern Sports Media, the official strategic partner of Apex Map.
I think y'all have broadcasting careers, if you ask me. I don't even need to be on here. Great transitions and
I think we're
tie-ins.
going to be leveling
Yeah.
up shields tonight.
Oh, leveling up shields.
Yeah, 4-8 extended or purple extended sniper, purple knockdown, and mobile respawn.
Yeah. We'll need a
Yeah,
mobile
shield.
respawn. We'll need a mobile respawn for David. That's about it.
Oh God.
Well, we have now went through practice, single car qualifying, the qualifying races. So now we are ready to race the Great American Race Sunday. Make sure you tune in and watch, and we will be back with a recap of what happened Sunday. I hope you all have
Pre-order
a
your
good
race winning diecast. Don't forget that.
Shameless plug from Nick over there.
Yeah.
any other tie-ins before we go off the air
Uh,
tonight.
may or may not have somebody with us next podcast.
Oh yes,
He might be the president of a team.
May, we don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We don't know.
you
Stay
want to tune
tuned.
in.
Next
Over
Tuesday.
under possibly.
Great chance.
That North Carolina education.
Hey
Yeah.
now,
So
down there in Georgia.
like stay tuned to our social media and Southern Media Sports. probably have something released. What, maybe this
This
weekend,
weekend.
early this.
We'll drop a Daytona 500 race morning bomb.
There you go.
That's what we'll
Heard it
do.
first. Bombs are gonna get dropped.
All
All
right. Well,
right.
thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. And make sure to continue tuning in and share our channel and let all your friends know this is where they want to be.
Hey
This
Tammy.
is the content they want to. Oh, yes. Hey, Tammy from Ohio, our most loyal viewer. We love you. Thank you for tuning in. And there we go.